Hi, my name's Brad from YakTrack, and look, I swore to myself for years that I would never start a video that starts with the words our customers, our users constantly ask us the question. But in this case, it is absolutely true. We get a lot of questions about how we came up with the name YakTrack. So sit back and relax. This video will take you on the ride of how we came up with the name YakTrack. So for many years, it took us a long time to really come up with something we all liked. We had 3 founders in the business, and it's really difficult to agree on and settle on one thing. It took us a long time. So there was one Friday afternoon that we locked ourselves in a meeting room with a whiteboard, with a computer, with Google search, with a business name registry, etc. And we swore that we would not come out of that room until we found a name. Well, it was late on a Friday afternoon, getting late in the day. We were starting to think about dinner when someone asked the question, well, what names do we actually like? We were really still struggling coming up with something we liked. And we all agreed we loved names with animals in the name. So we started brainstorming all the names that we could think of, starting with A and aardvark, and that wasn't a great start, but of all the animals that we could think of. And by the time we got to Y, we started to panic a little bit. We started to get pretty desperate. We still hadn't really struck on something that resonated with all of us. So we got to Y, and the only animal name we could think of for Y was, of course, the yak. So we explored the yak a little bit further, and we really loved what the name or the animal yak represented. Firstly, in Tibetan, it means wealth or jewels that grant all of your wishes, and we thought, what a great start to a company name. Get yourself on the right foot. Yaks are great in tough environments. They're sure-footed in uncertain or rocky terrain, and these are all the sorts of words that we found in terms of characteristics that describe the yak. They walk confidently. They're fond of company. They love groups and herding together. And we thought all these were great to describe the types of users that would be using YakTrack. Leaders who needed to be strong and tough in uncertain environments, etc. We also love the colloquial term for the yak, which means to have a conversation. And ultimately, YakTrack is about driving consistent conversations between leaders and their team members and teams. So everything really started to come together as a great name. We socialised the name around, and to be honest, the feedback of the name wasn't that great, and people didn't really love it early on. But given the research, and we thought that the characteristics, etc., of the yak really suited us down to a tree, YakTrack really became the name that we were stuck on. We also came up with found a great yak mascot that we thought represented our brand really well. And as it turned out, that mascot turned out to be a Highland coo or cow, and not a yak at all. So, but that's okay. He's still part of the team and working actively in his coaching plan to becoming a yak over time, and he's doing really well at that. So, look, we spent a lot of time coming up with the right name, but what sorts of things did we think about? What were the key elements we thought about when trying to think of a name? Well, number one is it was important that a name is descriptive, but it's certainly not too general or vague. YakTrack is cryptically a cryptic name that gives an overview, but is really not too specific about what we do. Use related words in a creative way is something else we looked at. Now, the word yak is an example of that. You can do lots of things with yak. It's got lots of different meanings, and we've weaved that through our brand over the years, and made it have different meanings throughout our product over time. Don't copy your competitors. It can be really easy to go and look at what all your competitors are doing in terms of naming their businesses, and I'd say stay true to what you do and what you really want to be known for. Avoid using your own name. It won't mean much to others. If you want to sell the business, there's a problem there as well, with selling your name essentially, and if something goes wrong with the business, then your name is always overtly attached. Choose a name that's scalable. With YakTrack is super scalable across multiple different environments, multiple different products, so make sure the name will grow with you as you do. And also make sure the name's available before you go doing all of your branding and websites and what have you. Make sure the name is absolutely available. So there it is. There's some key tips to coming up with a name. Hopefully you've enjoyed that. If you do have a question, please pop it in comments. Who knows, your question just may be the topic of the very next video. Until then, yak you later. Can't believe I just said that.